Okay. Um. Okay. Economic policy uncertainty in the United Kingdom, 2005 to 2010. Uncertainty, larger value equals more uncertainty. Oh, this one I already done multiple times. Uh, which choice most effectively uses data from the graph to illustrate the claim? Uh, High levels of public uncertainty about which economic policies a country will adopt can make planning difficult for businesses, but measures of such uncertainty have tended to not be very detailed. Recently, however, economists analyzed trends and new reports to derive measures not only for general economic policy uncertainty, but also for uncertainty related to specific areas of economic policy like tax or trade policy. One revelation of her work is that a general measure may not fully reflect uncertainty about specific areas of policy. As in the United Kingdom, where general economic policy uncertainty aligned closely with uncertainty, that is not true. Was substantially lower. Uh, Let's say uncertainty. One revelation where the fully reflect uncertainty about specific areas. So do align closely with uncertainty about tax and trade in 2005, but differed from uncertainty about tax and public a large amount in 2009. That's not it. It was substantially lower than uncertainty about tax. That's not true either. C reached its highest level reached there between 2005 and 2010. It's not C. It was substantially lower than uncertainty about trade policy in 2005 and substantially lower about trade policy in 2005 and substantially higher about trade policy in 2010. Yeah, that checks out and align closely with different from uncertainty tax and public spending policy by a large amount in 2000. That's not true. So it has to be D. That's the only way it makes sense. And correct answer D. I did see it, but I've done this question multiple times as I've said before. Okay, command of evidence. Okay, this is five. Number five. Question five. All right. Uh Okay, percentage of Ondo State small farmers who are female by main crop grown. I've done this multiple times too. Geographer and his colleagues surveyed a small scale of farmers in three locations in Ondo State, Nigeria, which has mountainous terrain in the north, an urbanized center, and a coastal terrain in the south. To learn more about practices like the types of crops they mainly cultivated, in some regions, female farmers were found to be especially prominent in the cultivation of specific types of crops, and even constituted the majority of farmers who cultivated those crops. For instance, most of the farmers who mainly cultivated cereals and farmers who mainly in South Ondo were women. More women in Central than mainly cultivated cereals. Most of the farmers who mainly cultivated non-root vegetables in the north. And then oh shoot, okay. I should probably just download this. Uh, uh, this one I already did. This one I did. This one I did. Okay. More women in Central Ondo mainly. Okay, most of the farmers who mainly cultivated non-root vegetables in the North and South Ondo were women. Non-root vegetables in North and South Ondo were women. Um, So C checks out. A relatively equal proportion of women across the region cultivated cereals. That checks. Uh, non-root vegetables in North and South Indo. Yeah, wait. No, D does not check out. More women in Central Indo cultivated crops, root crops, than mainly cultivated cereals. That does not check out. Cultivated cereals, and most of the farmers mainly cultivated non-root vegetables in South Ondo or not. So A, B, it has to be C. C is the only correct answer. Yeah. Wait. D is incorrect because it does not effectively complete the example. It simply states a relatively, which doesn't address the value of the or female more than half majority of farmers. Yeah. Okay. Six. Okay. While attending school in New York City, while attending school in New York City in the 1980s, uh, Okui Enzewer encountered few works by African artists in exhibitions, despite New York's reputation as one of the best places to view contemporary art from around the world. According to art journalists, later his career as a renowned curator and art historian, Enzewer sought to remedy this deficiency, not by focusing solely on modern African artists, but by showing their work how their work fits into the larger context of the global modern art and art history. Which finding, if true, would most directly support the journalist's claim? As a curator, um, as a curator of the Haussender, Germany, retrospectively, A is not correct. In exhibition post-war, Enzower and curator brought works by African artists. B makes sense. Enzower's work as a curator and C also makes sense. Organize the exhibition. ID is too specific. Besides a particular aesthetic. Wait, so according to an art journalist, later in his career, renowned curator and art historians sought to remedy this, focusing solely on modern African artists by showing how their work fits into larger contexts. A does not fit into the larger context. The Pacific and the Atlantic. Together. No, B sort of makes sense. Enzo's work as a curator in the. What does curator mean? What does curator mean? Keeper, custodian of museum or collection. See. Um, Global. C can't be the correct answer. B makes the most sense. I think the correct answer B. Oh my gosh. I'm pretty sure I've done this question before though. This one was C, and I said C. So, okay. Bro, I've done these questions before. I did test masters, so of course I've done these before. Test masters just spams questions like these. Okay. Researchers recently found that disruptions to an enjoyable experience, like a short series of advertisements during a television show, often increases viewers' reported enjoyment. Suspecting that disruptions to an unpleasant experience would have the opposite effect. Uh, opposite effect, which means make it even worse. Participants listen to control would thus find the disruptions more irritating as time went on. Um, A makes sense. Rate the listening experience as more negative than those. B is the hypothesis. B makes the most sense. Rate the experience. C doesn't make sense. D doesn't make sense. It's between A and B, and then finds the disruptions more irritating. But this is about the reported enjoyment on the thing, so it'd be B. Correct answer B. Boom. Um. Okay. Uh, nuclear-based concentrations from meteorite soil samples. I don't think I've done this. Okay, employing high performance liquid chromatography, a process that uses pressurized water to separate material into component molecules. Astrochemist Yashiro Oba and colleagues analyzed two samples of Murchison meteorite that landed in Australia, as well as soil from the landing zone of the meteorite, to determine the concentrations of various organic molecules. By comparing the relative concentrations of types of molecules known as nucleobases in the Murchison meteorite with these in the soil, the team concluded that there is evidence of that they formed in space and are not the result of contamination on Earth. Oh, I've done this one too. Which choice best describes data from the table that supports the team's conclusion? Um, Isogamine and purine were both detected, but not in the soil sample. It's A. Yeah, there you want to go out. Oh, sorry. Mm, it's A. Yeah, of course it's A. I done this before, bro. Done this question way too many times, one might say. Okay, nine. Oh, I haven't done this. Oh, I've also done this one. Many of William Shakespeare's tragedies address broad themes that still appeal to today's audience. For instance, Romeo and Juliet, which is set in the Italy of Shakespeare, tackles themes of parents versus children and love versus hate, and the play continues to be read and produced widely around the world. But understanding Shakespeare's so-called history plays can require knowledge of several centuries of English history. Consequently, many theater goers and readers today are less likely to find Shakespeare's history plays less engaging than the tragedies. Uh, it's A. This one's A. Because some of Shakespeare's tragedies are most. Okay, it's A. It's A. It's A. It's A. Yeah. I've done this one before, so I should know. I'm trying to find one which I haven't done. Like this one, I definitely haven't done because I've not. Yeah, I haven't seen the answer. I didn't see the answer. Okay. Yeah, this one I haven't done. So if I get this wrong, then I'm just bad. Okay. Mosasaurs were large marine reptiles that lived in the late Cretaceous period, approximately 100 million to 66 million years ago. According to Selena Suarez, Alberto Perez Huerta, and T. Lynn Harrell Jr. examined examine oxygen 18 isotopes in mosasaur tooth enamel in order to calculate likely mosasaur body temperatures and determine that mosasaurs were endothermic. That is, they use internal metabolic processes to maintain stable body temperature in a variety of ambient temperatures. Suarez, Perez, Huerta, and Harrell claim that endothermy would have enabled mosasaurs to include relatively cold polar waters in their range. Which finding, if true, would most directly support mosasaurs' likely body temperatures were easier to determine from than the body temperatures of it's not a fossils of both have been found in roughly equal numbers in regions known to be near the poles during the late Cretaceous, though in lower concentrations than elsewhere. So B is a possible answer. Several mosasaur fossils have been found in regions known to be near the poles, while relatively few fossils of non-endothermic marine reptiles have been found in those locations. It's C. I think the seawater. C. It's C. It's C. It's C. It's C. Tennessee. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, correct. C. I've done this before too. I've done all of these, I think, which is pretty insane to think that I've studied so much. So hopefully on this SAT this weekend I get above a 1500, maybe 1540, 1520, 1530. If I pray, maybe 1580 if I lock in like crazy. Okay. Um Okay. Rejecting the premise that literary magazine Bono should be unified, diverse perspectives by promoting their authorial autonomy. Johnson's self-effacement diverged from editorial stances of whose decisions were more. Wait. Rejecting the premise that the literary magazine Ebony and Topaz should present a unified vision of Black American identity. Editor fostered his to promote their authorial autonomy. Self-effacement diverged from editorials were more Dogmatic. It's not ambiguous or proficient. It's dogmatic or unpretentious and dogmatic. Oh, I have to shoot 50-50 here. It's between B and D. Okay, let's take apart the word unpretentious. Pretentious. I'm going B. I'm shooting B. Oh! Oh, is you like that? I went from the bottom. Is you like that? Is you like that? Okay. That's crazy. I just shot B. Our opinions are true. Okay, wait, let's just search up dogmatic really quickly so we know. Dogmatic meaning to follow a set of rules no matter what. And then unpretentious meaning not attempting to impress others with an appearance of greater importance, talent, or culture than is actually possessed. Pleasantly simple, modest. Un to presenting. I think I'm pretty unpretentious when it comes to presenting information about myself. So, dude, I'm actually crazy. I called B, bro. Yeah, okay. But I need to go check. How lifelike are they? Many computer animators prioritize this question. Oh, this one I've done too. It reflects a primary goal that many computer animators have for certain components of the animations they produce. How lifelike are they? A, is it it represents a concern of who are interested in creating unique backgrounds and lighting effects than realistic ones. What are you doing? It represents a concern of computer animators who are more interested in creating unique backgrounds and lighting than realistic ones. It's B. Question as a structure and lighting and environment. Generally, while characters in computer animated films appear highly exaggerated environments engineered to mimic reality, but some focus on a different question rather than asking whether the environments and lighting are lifelike. Okay, so A, it reflects a primary goal that for certain components, nope, it represents a concern of community who are more interested in lighting than realistic ones. It's not B. It can't be B. I don't know why I said it's B. It conveys uncertainty among many computer animators about how realistic animations using current technology. It's not C, and it's not D, so it's A. This one's A. I've done this question too. A, and it is A, of course. I've literally only got one wrong so far. That's pretty good. But to be fair, even though I've literally only gotten one wrong so far, I have done all of these questions before and seen the answer to them through test masters. So it's fine. It kind of cancels out, I guess. I think it means I'm gonna get a 1500. One might say. Okay. Um. Hubba 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 hubba. All right. And then 13. A field of effective neuroscience seeks instinct pleasure displeasure because these sensations are linked to a chemical component, the release of a dopamine when said to have partly a psychological basis. These processes have been described in mammals, but observed some of these behaviors in honeybees. Uh, are psychological responses in humans. Oh, this is C. I've done this question before. Yeah. Bro, I've done all of these. No way. That's crazy. Oh, have regretted that late. Have questioned that. They assume that. This is A. Correct answer is A. Nice. That's pretty amazing. Economist Marco Castillo and colleagues showed that nuisance costs the time and effort people must take to charitable giving. Charities can make this effect by put those costs through a variable and largely independent of donation. Subsumed predictive of. Is it B? I haven't done this one before. Uh, economist Mark Costello and colleagues showed that nuisance costs, the time and effort people must spend to make donations, reduce charitable giving. Charities can mitigate this effect by compensating donors for nuisance costs, but those costs, though variable, are largely predictive of donation size. Predictive, supplemental to donation size. It's not supplemental. It can be subsumed in. I don't know what subsumed means, so I'm gonna assume it's B. Is it B? Answer is C. Independent of donation size. Sure. Wait, I'm studying. B. I put B. It's independent of. So I'm gonna mark this as wrong. We're told that charities pay donors back for nuisance costs, attract few large donors instead of many small donors. Suggest that nuisance costs are likely not linked to donation size. Oh, easy. It doesn't fit the logic of the text. Can predict donation size, but wouldn't necessarily result in charities over. Okay, so the reason wrong for this is didn't think about logic. Like, bro, like the first question I don't see or I don't remember is the one I get wrong, which is not good. And that is very disturbing, so it's okay. Wrong, guys. Didn't think about what fits the logic. C is correct. 16 are largely independent. Reduce charitable giving. Donors. Well, favorite tracking a few large donors. Likely separate, not connected to donation size. So charities that compensate donors. Since costs result in charities that compensate donors for those costs. Okay, wait, because the logic is if the logic is if nuisance costs are connected to amount sent or time spent, or so if time spent on a thing is to donation size. No variable largely compensate. It doesn't make sense, man. Why can't I wrap around my head around this concept? Okay, look. So if you spend, okay, if you spend, bro, I can't do this. Okay. So if you spend time giving a donation, you spend X amount of time giving a donation of $5. If it is dependent of it or predictive of it, you spend 2 minutes. Now, if you mitigate this logically, you'll attract bigger. And if it's independent of it, which means everyone's. What sense does this make? How does this even make sense? It doesn't even make sense. Doesn't. And can you just eat the pizza out? I'll have it when I want it. I'll eat later. I don't understand this. Bro, it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna upload it to Google Drive and have some like school. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Because if someone spends X amount of time uh, whatever. That doesn't make sense, man. Right. 16. In 1916, H. Dugdale Skies disputed claims that the two noble kinsmen was co-authored by William Shakespeare and John Fletcher. Disputed claims that they were. It's A. Philip Messenger's style in the first and last acts of the two It's A. This is obviously A. This can't. This is not A. A. Yeah. That's the only one that makes sense. I'm not going to lie, beta. That's the only one that makes sense. He's over. Come back. For like 30 minutes. Because I literally haven't walked or done anything for tired yet. I just sat at my breakfast. I haven't been walking to the end of the after anymore. No, I don't have time. Um, okay, 17. Studying late 19th and early 20th century artifacts from an agricultural and domestic setting, Texas archaeologist. Oh, I haven't done this one. Okay, so since I haven't done this one, I need to get it right. Oh, I have to get all of them right anyway. Studying late 19th and early 20th century artifacts from an agricultural and domestic site in Texas, archaeologists. Black women employed as farm workers utilize hook and eye closures to fasten their. So the silhouettes were popular in contemporary fashion, typically. First farm. So it's not contemporary, typically achieved through more force stats. Llewellyn argues that this sartorial practice shows that these fields are yeah, an unexpected discovery that no, it's not a to discuss research that investigated the ways in which black people use fashion practices to rest. Nope, it's not B. Mm, Contemporary means comes after. So to describe an unexpected of how rapidly to discuss research that investigated the ways in which black female workers in the late 19th and early 20th century Texas used fashion practices. It's not A or B to evaluate scholarly works that offers explanation for the impact of urban fashion ideals in the late 90s. Urban fashion. Where does it say urban fashion? Hmm. Probably D. D. Yeah, nice. Okay. What does contemporary mean? Let me just search that up. Contemporary. I should probably know this. Oh, living or occurring at the same time. I said after. So, was popular. It doesn't say urban, so it can't be C. This doesn't. It simply describes it. Yeah. Okay. 18. Okay. I'm done reading this. Okay. Astronomers are confident that the star Betelgeuse will eventually consume all helium in its core and explode into supernova. They are much less confident. This instead depends on internal characteristics of Betelgeuse that are largely unknown. Mm. Central finding. Uh, it's C. This is C, obviously. And I've done this question before, so of course I'm gonna know. 19. Seminole. Oh, I haven't done this. Oh, I have done this. Seminole slash Muskogee director Sterling Harjo foretells television tendency to situate native characters in the distant past. Repudiates, recants. It's either repudiates or recants. I've done this before, but now I'm forgetting. Okay. It's not proclaimed, not foretells, because he doesn't want this. And me doing this before, I'm pretty sure I put recants and it was wrong. I don't know the. It's you have to shoot A or D. This rejection is evident in the series. It's repudiates. I'm pretty sure it's recants. It's D recants because A it's repudiates. Ah, I put recants now that I'm thinking about it. But that is called hindsight bias as learned in psychology. So, of course, hindsight bias is going to say that I already knew it, even though I clearly didn't. Okay, repudiates versus. Okay, wrong because. Just didn't know the meaning, the exact meaning, exact mean. I've gotten this exact same question wrong before. Meaning of repudiates or recounts. A correct answer 20 recounts. Meaning refuse to be accepted or associated with. Okay, I'm pretty sure I did a flashcard on this, so it's fine. Honestly. And then 20. Oh, I kind of saw the answer. The following text words. Mr. Brooke had traveled in his younger years and was held in this part of the country to have developed a too rambling habit of his mind. Oh, this is obviously C. Described to. Yeah. And I saw the answer too. That's by accident. And I didn't even do this question. So, it would have been good practice. But I have to ruin it for myself every single time. And that's okay. Because it happens. But getting below 1500 on this. But getting below a 1500 on this test is something that cannot happen. If I get below 1600 on this test, I will not accept it. Because this is okay. But not getting this 1500 means I've gotten this wrong multiple times on the test, which is not okay. Alright. While researching a topic, a student has taken the following notes. The student wants to present the primary aim of the research, which most effectively uses relevant information. Primary aim of the research study, it's probably A. This one is A, obviously. Yep. 22. Inner poetry collection. Inner poetry collection, Thomas. Okay. Inner poetry collection, Thomason. Viola, Rita Dove interweaves the titular characters' personal stories with broader historical narratives. She places Thomas's journey from the American South to Midwest within the larger context of the Great Migration, specifically sets events. It's a specifically D similarly. Yeah. Okay. D similarly. What? Interweaves the titular characters' personal stories with broader historical narrative. She places Thomas's journey. Oh, it's about a different thing. Okay. Wrong because didn't read slash comprehend question completely. Uh, okay, 23. 23. While researching a topic, a student has taken the following notes. The Atlantic Monthly magazine was first published in 1857. The magazine focused on political art, literature, politics, art, literature. In 2019, historian Catherine Halverson published. Oh wait, the student wants to introduce since book to an audience already familiar with the Atlantic Monthly. Published forward, and the subject is female authors whose autobiographies appeared in the magazine in the early 1900s. One of the authors is discussed in one is Juanita Harrison. To an audience already familiar with the Atlantic Monthly, its subject is female authors whose autobiographies appeared in the magazine in the early 1900s. Already familiar with the discusses autobiographies appeared. It might be A, the magazine, I didn't look at the answer, I couldn't see it. A magazine called it refers to, it's not A, or B, it's Far Away Women in Atlantic Monthly features contributors to the Atlantic Monthly. It's not C because it introduces the Atlantic Monthly. Author is, okay, it's A, clearly. This one has to be A, yeah. 24 is the next one. In a heated debate in biogeography, the field is divided between dispersalists and vicarianicists. Furthermore, it doesn't make sense. By contrast, there are those who it's a D, obviously. That is, yeah, okay. Alright. And then in 1815, while in exile in Jamaica, Venezuelan revolutionary Simón Bolivar penned a letter praising England's Republican government and expressing hope that Latin American nations seeking independence from Spain might achieve something similar. The letter was addressed to a local merchant, Henry Cullen. Ultimately, though, Bolivar's goal was to persuade political leaders from is B. Ultimately, 25 is B. Ultimately, I'm gonna get 1500 on the SAT. Ultimately, additionally, though, consequently, though, it's B. Ultimately, yep. I should probably do an extra one just for practice, right?